Okay, let's get him under anesthesia. All right, folks, what we've got here is a man who's had a piece of shrapnel deflect off the right side of his head, and it has caused a compression fracture. His head's now filling with fluid that's overpressurizing his skull. This could kill him. The only way to help him is I have to use a trephine for surgery. I think he's up. I've got to cut this size hole in his head and get in there with a scalpel, nick the meniscus, and force some fluid out. They had no idea how much fluid to take out. Whatever felt right, felt right. We'd close that up. I would drill holes in his head, and we would take wire the piece I cut out onto his skull again and close it back up. Unfortunately, with brain surgery in the time of the Civil War, only about 1 in 4 would survive the surgery because, quite frankly, when you're messing with a person's brain, and we're talking Civil War, we know nothing about germs at all. Dr. Lister discovered germs in London in 1970, 5 years after the war. All we know is ill humors have invaded the patient's body and we need to get them out. That might mean letting blood. In this case, I'm going to have to let lymph fluid out from around the brain and take the pressure off, otherwise he is going to die. So, although only 1 in 4 survive, if I did not do this surgery, he would not survive at all. All right, we've got him out. How many drops did you put in there? 3, sir. 3. All right. For informational purposes, I am not going to do this. You see the little point there? That'll hold it in place while I'm cutting. Because I like this young man, I'm not going to do that. All right. Steady. Almost through. Brush the bone fragments off from the skull before you remove that piece. It's already starting to see. He's literally going to stick his thumbs in there as if you're popping a pimple and squeeze fluid out around there. Starting to feel something. Is he moving? Yeah, I feel moving. Here, give him another 2 drops of fluid. If you have a high metabolism, a lot of times they'd wake up right in surgery. Not a real good thing. All right, let that soak in for a minute. All right, let's see. If you need to do any extra cutting once that hole's in there, this is a hay saw and it is for cutting skull bone. I need to make a bigger. Yeah. All right. And here's the thing: the doctor knows nothing of germs. He's putting the instruments right back in that velvet lined case with blood on them, germs, God knows what. He's going to do that at the end of the battle too. He's going to put everything else back in his velvet lined case, and away we go. Is he going to wash them? Yeah, maybe. We don't know anything about any of that kind of stuff. All right, let's get this thing sewn up. In the Union Army, all wounds were sealed with silk thread. In the South, silk comes from China. The blockade prevented silk from being brought into the Confederacy. What are we going to do? What I have here is a stout piece of black horsehair off the mane or the tail of the horse. This is what we used. Now, horsehair is very stiff, very brittle, and in order to soften it so that it'd be more like silk thread, you would put it in a bucket of boiling water. If you were lucky enough to go to a Confederate surgeon during the battle, even though they had fewer medicines and fewer instruments, you would be sewn back together with boiled horsehair. All the germs have been boiled off. The Union camp, the silk thread, would still have all the germs on it that came from China. And we know what came from China, right?
COVID.
You don't want that. Good. It's breathing good. I think this one's going to make it.
First sergeant. Yes, sir. Anyone who's going into the battle. I'm in.
Who's going here? Are you going?
I'm going. Because our club is November. We better decide now because they moved up to 3, so we need
Anyhow, I would let the assistant
They're not going to be able to
get
speak
that tied
in.
on. We'd probably use several rolls.
They said they're pretty strict on checking wristbands and stuff.
Ladies at home would cut the linens up at home and would roll them on a little roller. They also would
Passing trucks, so we can get in there.
shred their bed clothes. Cotton sheets. It would make this stuff here. It's called lint. Not from the dryer, they didn't have it. And you would use this to pack clothes.
It's up to you guys. I just don't want you guys.
They actually would often leave a small hole where they started the incision so that the fluid could leak out. And they're hoping to see pus come out because they believed that pus meant it was the ill humors leaving the body. What it meant was the thing's infected and they don't know it. This guy's going to probably die in about a week or so. Now, the way they wake them up from chloroform is the way they wake them up to this very day. If you've been operated on at the hospital over here on Washington Street, when you get to the recovery room, they will grab you right here and pull apart. If you want to do that, you'll know why. This really hurts. And that will wake them up. Go ahead, Lieutenant, let's bring this guy up. Yeah, right where the jaw joins the skull. Hold on, son, you're fine. Hold on. Okay, how are you feeling?
Sick.
Okay, where? Your stomach? How's the lungs?
Like,
Let's breathe deep for me. Okay, they're clear. Hold on. Anybody know what this is? They still use them in prenatal care to hear babies. This is a stethoscope. Breathe. Breathe. Okay, yeah, they're clear. One of the problems, especially when ether, chloroform was around now, was fluid gathering in the lungs, and you get pneumonia, and you literally drown. This is what happened to Stonewall Jackson. He lost his arm, and he survived the amputation. However, he died of pneumonia a few days later because he lost it. All right, let's help this guy off the table. I got to cut some legs off. It'll be a long day, gentlemen.
Help my boys. Help my. Grab his other.
You folks folks have questions, please come up and ask them. I am Irish, and we Irish have answers for everything.
Hey.